Are we all set? Good evening. Welcome to the June 22nd, 2021 meeting of the Michigan City Area Schools Board of Trustees. Could we all stand for the pledge, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag. Thank you. Mission statement, Mr. Domkowski.
Mission of the Michigan City Area Schools, the unifying force of our diverse community, is to ensure that each student will be able to achieve any goal to which he or she aspires and contribute positively to society through a system characterized by learning as a continuous experience of excellence, excitement, opportunity, and achievement, clear goals and high expectations for student success, supportive families and community, staff with pride and purpose leading by positive example, and a student prepared for and enthusiastic about his or her future.
Thank you, Mr. Domkowski. All members are present. Sorry, Sarah, all members are present at this time. Consent agenda. Number 1, approval of the minutes preceding meeting on May 25th, 2021, and the special meeting on June 7th, 2021. Number 2, approval of employee appointments, resignations, retirements, leaves of absence, and status change. Number 3, approval of secretary's report on bills to be paid. Number 4, approval pay dates for May 21, 2021, and June 4th, 2021. And number 5, travel reimbursement. What is the board's pleasure?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mrs. Painter, that carries. At this time, we'll have go to communications. We have general announcements and recognitions by Dr. Barbara Easton Watkins. Dr. Watkins.
Dr. McCollum is actually going to begin.
Dr. McCullum.
Thank you, Mr. Corley. Tonight, during the consent agenda, the board approved the recommendation to reassign Courtney Barber from Coordinator of Special Projects for Elementary to the Pine Elementary Principal position. Courtney was previously taught at Edgewood Elementary, where she also served in various leadership positions, and at the district level with curriculum development, implementation, social emotional learning, restorative practices, technology, and even this summer has been the instructional coach for our elementary summer school program. She is part of our district's push to ensure that our leaders in our building and even at the district level are people that have worked within the school community, understand our operations, and understand the culture, the climate of Michigan City area schools. And we are so proud to have Courtney in this position. We know that she will be a rock star principal for us. And I'm so thrilled and excited also on a day's announcement, or even as I'm looking and thinking back, probably a few hours announcement, to see so many of the Pine staff here this evening to welcome Courtney into the Pine school community. So we're looking forward to great things continuing to happen at Pine. For those of you in the community who are not aware of all the great things that are happening out there, I encourage you to contact Courtney, contact some of the teachers out there so that you can get a sense of all the wonderful things they're doing for the students out there. And once again, I just want to welcome Courtney to the principal position now at Pine. We were here 2 months ago for the coordinator position, but now we're here for the principal position. So once again, thank you, Courtney, and please come forward.
I just want to say thank you to the administration team for giving me the opportunity to grow into this leadership role. Thank you to the board. And to my new Pine family, thank you all for being here tonight. I am so excited to work alongside you I know you guys are really in a great place right now, but continuing that work from good to great as our district initiative, and I can't wait to dig into this work with you. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
I would like to begin this evening by offering our condolences to the family and friends of Malachi Young, a class of 2021 graduate who passed away in a tragic car accident just hours after graduating from Michigan City High School. Malachi will be missed by his MCAS family, and please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. The citywide Back to School Rally will return to an in-person event this year, taking place at Elston's Gill Field on Saturday, August 14th, from noon to 4 p.m. Again, this year, this event will feature entertainment, informational exhibits, free food, activities, and free school supplies for students who are accompanied by a parent or guardian. This year, free COVID vaccinations will be offered to adults and students ages 12 and older. We thank the community organizations who work together to conduct this rally each year, and the many corporate sponsors who are helping us make sure that every student is excited and prepared for this school this fall. For more information on sponsorships, volunteering, exhibitions, and the event in general, follow the link for the Back to School Rally on the Michigan City Area Schools website and like the event on Facebook. We are honored that one of our second grade teachers at Marsh Elementary School, Olivia Davis, was selected to participate in a national teacher panel on June 30th. The facilitated panel discussion is coordinated by EL Education and will focus on the curriculum to an audience of teachers and leaders who are new to the EL Education language arts curriculum. Ms. Davis will share her positive experiences with EL Education, including stories of how the curriculum is a means towards more equitable and excellent outcomes for all students. We are proud to have Ms. Davis represent the Michigan City Area Schools in this national conversation. Summer school is now in session for grades K through 12 and will continue through July 9th. There will be class on Monday, July 5th. Third grade students will be taking the Summer I-Read assessment during the last week of summer school, and students should arrive at school on time, well-rested, and prepared to do their best. And tonight, we would like to recognize a handful of Michigan City High School students who have made some great accomplishments at the state level. First, we'd like to recognize Jessica Wilhelm, an outstanding student in welding technology at AK Smith, who received the Governor's Workforce Cabinet CTE Award of Excellence. This is the highest honor in the state for career and technical education students. And also present this evening with Jessica is Raymond Goss, her welding teacher at AK Smith. First of all, can we have Jessica come forward? Her teacher, Raymond, please join her. And in case you missed it, this is the highest honor in the state for career and technical education students. Let's give her another big round of applause. I'd also like to have, are your parents here tonight? Okay. Well, Delencia Smith, who is the Director of Career and Technical Education, is here. Come forward. We'd like to take another picture. And Jessica, just know that we are extremely proud of what you've accomplished. You've been amazing, and we know that great things are to come in your future. Let's give her another big round of applause. We also have some good news to share from our athletic department as we recognize 4 IHSAA track and field state finalists. First, the Wolves 400-meter relay team made up of Esau Haynes, Layman Fly, Jerry Clayton, and Kadarius Jones competed at the state level. Layman Fly also competed in the 200-meter dash, and we congratulate Esau Haynes, who returned from state as runner-up and silver medalist in the 100-meter dash at the state track finals, setting a new Michigan City track record with a 10.669 record. He was also named DAC All-Conference Champion in the boys 100-meter dash. Outstanding job. And joining them today are boys track head coach Michael Liss and assistant coach Ken Bide. Please come forward and join these outstanding young men. And if any of the parents are here today, please come forward and take another picture with the group.
Come on up.
Do I need to move? Once again, another big hand for these young men. You represented Michigan City well. Congratulations to each one of you. Also this evening, we are honored to recognize Amaya Higgins, who placed first in her category at the 13th Annual Jobs for America's Graduates Career Development Conference. This event was held virtually on May 7th and included about 120 regional winners from across the state who competed in 12 different categories. Her presentation focused on health therapy careers, and we congratulate Amaya on her first place win. Thank you for representing Michigan City High School in the JAG program and in their partnership with the Center for Workforce Innovations. Also present this evening is Raymond Davis, who is the JAG specialist at Michigan City High School. Please come forward. And Amaya, I just want you to know we all had a chance to listen to your presentation. You are an amazing person, and we are very, very proud of what you did as well. Despite the noise in the hallway, the bell going off, your presentation was amazing, and those at the state recognized your accomplishments. Do you have anyone here with you this evening?
Yes, my mother.
Okay, please come forward. And once again, let me just say that Amaya was #1 in the state of Indiana. So let's give her. And that concludes the announcement this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Watkins. This time, Early College and Horizon Bank.
Good evening, school board members, Dr. Houston Watkins, Dr. McCollum. I am Rhonda Lamar, and I am the counselor for the dynamic Michigan City Early College High School program. It is truly an honor to briefly speak to you about the program and its accomplishments. First, I want to acknowledge we have a couple of our early college teachers here. They are my support right here. We have Mrs. Frederick and Dr. Boom are on our 9th grade team, and we have students here also supporting the program. The program was implemented in 2014, and we worked hard to meet the University of Indianapolis's Center of Excellence in Leadership of Learning, we call SAIL, core principles. The core principles are the targeted student population, curriculum, college-going culture, rigorous instruction, supports for student success, collaboration and partnership, leadership and staffing, and data collection. In May 2018, SAIL endorsed the early college program. We were so proud to receive the endorsement. SAIL indicated, and this is in quote, the program is truly one of the best implementations that they have seen in some time, and they were thrilled by the pride that the students exhibited. And then in June of 2018, that was a big year for us, we had our first graduating class. We refer to them as our legacy group. It is hard to believe that these students, some of these students, will be entering their 4th year of college. So we are so proud of the legacy group students. Our early college 9th and 10th grade teachers, they have built that foundation to help students prepare for dual credit and advanced placement courses. They provide ongoing support, care with a loving environment. We have a great time with the teachers and the students in the program. We visited so many college campuses, those are always fun. We visited University of Notre Dame, IUSB, PNW, Valparaiso, and Purdue West Lafayette, and Northwestern. When we visited Northwestern, we were able to go into Illinois, and that was in the fall of 2019. But due to the pandemic, we weren't able to visit this year, but next year we'll be right back in the swing of things, and we'll visit those wonderful campuses. I want to share some of the highlights from our early college data, which is very impressive. There have been a total of 193 students that graduated from 2018 through 2020. 105 of our students had enrolled in a 4-year university, 38 enrolled in a 2-year university, 14 enrolled in a trade and the military. We are so proud. They have worked hard. These students have received many dual credits as well as scholarships. And I'll talk about the class of 2021 in a minute. One of our 2000 graduates, Chris French, he had stated to me that he noticed that the students in the early college program worked hard. Our scholars are college and career ready. Not only do we have an awesome administration, parents, students, and I would like to read one of the letters that a parent wrote to me. I asked her to write a brief statement, but she wrote me a letter. And I would like to read that letter to you guys. And she addresses it, they addresses it. Dear early college family, we want to start off by stating our gratitude toward the early college program for helping our child get through high school. Thank you for helping our kid through the rough patches high school. Thank you for helping her gain great values of her own throughout the great early college family she formed. And most importantly, thank you guys for helping our kid go step by step and teaching her about the qualities she needs to succeed in college. We, and this is Mr. and Mrs. Weezer, came to realize that without early college, our kid Brenda would have struggled immensely to figure out her way into college since we never had the privilege of getting a higher education and had no knowledge over the process nor scholarships. We are so proud to say our daughter was the first kid in our family to join the early college program, and we cannot express enough how this program formed Brenda into a great student. For most of her time in high school, she got above a 4.0 GPA. It truly amazed us how Brenda took so many college credit classes. This program prepared Brenda to start off college at a greater advantage than the rest. Furthermore, early college challenged her a lot to aim toward higher expectations. She wasn't even aware she could accomplish with a little more pushing from the wonderful staff. We still remember a time when Brenda was taking a harder level math, pre-cal to be precise. She was very hesitant about it because math is her least favorite subject, but her wonderful teachers believed in her and told her they knew she could do it. We still remember one certain night when she was doing her math homework and just had a total breakdown. She kept repeating that she couldn't do it, that it was too stressful, and she was going to drop the college credit. She was so determined that not even we could change her mind. However, that next school day, she came back with her eyes so watery and told us that she was not going to give up. She told us that Miss Lamar, Mr. Garrett, and Mr. Lehman all talked to her about not giving up and told her to push through. She told us that she could not disappoint them. It was unbelievable hearing how our stubborn Brenda, who had left the house determined to drop the class, had now changed her mind because of the constant support and cheering from her early college family. As a result, Brenda ended up great not only in pre-cal but all of her classes. Now Brenda just finished her high school year of college at Valparaiso University in the nursing program. And with the help of all the college credits she already had in store, it took her a lot of her basic classes out of her way and made it less stressful. Our son, Adrian, is now a current student in the early college program and totally loves it. We cannot express how much our kids love this program and the huge connections they form throughout their journey at the high school. We think that many of the early college parents think and say the same thing. This program is helping us parents save money. It helps our children find out about scholarships they may not know of, and overall, it is helping the future of our kids. This program helps get many basic college classes out of the way. Nevertheless, it also allows us to see our children become more mature and hardworking students. It makes us realize that the staff involved with this program become a huge part of our kids' lives and become the support and encouragement that lead our kids into the right direction. We could talk for days about how beneficial this program is for our children and how it has changed the lives of our children. But we really want to emphasize how important it is to realize that the program is going to make a huge difference in our future generation of students. Again, thank you to all for putting together this wonderful program and staff for our kids. Thank you, Dr. Watson and Dr. McCullough.
And if we could just have the teachers come up, I just want to share with you that they are truly an impassioned group in terms of how they respond to the needs of their children. I remember recognizing Dr. Boone one year, and he had a tough group and he had a tough year, but those kids got through it because he believed in them and he was determined that they were not going to fail. And Ms. Fredericks, they are just so caring, and nobody in this district does anything to Miss Rhonda's children. They know that if they do, Miss Rhonda is going to come after them. And that's the level of caring and support. And I should just add that the Michigan City Early College was the first endorsed early college in Northwest Indiana. Congratulations.
If I may add one thing, I think we do as much storytelling as anything else because the kids don't realize how far they can go. They don't realize how far they can get in college or how far they can grow. So we don't spend time talking about how smart they are. We talk about how hard you work and the things that are in front of you you can obtain. And if you get their mindset in the right direction, academics are easy.
Once again, very proud of the early college team.
Thank you. Thank you. So just briefly, I want to go over the class of 2021. With the pandemic, they didn't let anything stop them. We had 59 graduates, 25 received an academics and or technical honors diploma, 44 of those students will be enrolled in a 4-year, a 2-year, a trade school, and the military. We are so proud of the class of 2021. Now, I mistakenly, I had an early college cord that I was going to wear, and I wanted to show you guys the pride that these students take. Every graduate, they get as an early college student, when they graduate, they receive a cord. So I apologize for that. The cord was on my table, and I walked down and forgot it. But it's a great program, and I thank you guys so much for letting me be the counselor for this program. As you know, Dr. Eastman, those are my babies, and I call everybody my babies. Again, we believe it takes a village to raise a child, and we have great partnerships. I want to introduce our Horizon Bank, who has worked with our students for 3 years, Mr. Lewis Scott and Mr. Noe Naheda. Can you come up and talk about the program?
Let me first start by saying to the board, hello, administration, thank you, and everybody here. Let me first, it's a little weird because I want to get a little angle with people too, going back to you. My name is Lewis Scott. I'm the Vice President, Community Development Officer for Horizon Bank. This is Noe. Noe leads he's my senior VP, he's actually my leader. But don't look at us as bank employees, because I will tell you, I've been with Horizon 7 months now, came from another company, and one of the things that I had the opportunity to get involved with was our Making the Dreams Come True youth education program with the Michigan City students. And I will tell you a little bit about this program, which is exciting, because it really is a model. I've been in a couple of companies. I had the opportunity, I came in midstream, and I looked at the curriculum, and it was an overview of banking. It was given to students from some of our leaders around consumer lending, credit, budgeting, and one of the key things that I thought was so interesting because I saw the enthusiasm for the youth was the last fifth, because we had a 6-week, but the 6-week, the fifth was about business finance 101. Very simple training about business plan. Well, once they did the business plan, on the 6th, they had to come back and do mock presentation, almost like the Shark Tank, right? And I will tell you, that's not, hey, you think about it, they got to get up in front of a panel, and I was just so impressed with the students because all of them was fearless. It was unfortunate, we had 4 groups, but only one could win. Everyone got recognized because we had a ceremony. So I just want to reach out to, first for you, to say to the group, Rhonda, awesome student. We love our participation in this program on behalf of Verizon, so we want to continue that partnership. Okay? Yeah, Kim. Tell a little bit about the idea and the team.
The idea was, it's like a DoorDash, but it's also like a pawn shop. And you could like sell stuff at the pawn shop and buy things that other people use or lightly use and own. And you could also like, there's an app where you can like buy food and stuff if you wanted to. And it's called Plug Hub.
So let me see. One thing with Cameron and his team, it was 4 individuals on their team. One of the things they did impress us, they got up, we didn't give anyone any advice, and they went right to the PowerPoint. They put their projections, they went up there, and they articulated their message. And it was 4 of them. They had to decide who was CEO, they had different organizational structures. So it wasn't just about their idea. I was looking for their passion and the ability to take a little chance on the presentation, because that's what we do in sales. So thank you again, your team's hard work.
And we can say, William and I were at the final presentation. It was awesome. And your parents are here. They should be very, very proud. Can we get a picture of all of you together? First, Rhonda and the representatives, and then we're going to take a picture with family. Just did an awesome job. Roy, come on up. Yes. We're going to start with this picture, add the teachers, and then add the parents.
Thank you.
So if I could just take a moment to talk about Horizon Bank and their commitment to the Michigan City area schools. You know, for everyone who has been into Michigan City High School, there is a bank that Horizon Bank put into our school. They wanted to ensure that for those students that were interested in the banking field, they staffed it with a Horizon Bank employee, but our students are actually trained as the tellers. They're trained about other banking things as well. When the students from Horizon go away to college, if there is a Horizon Bank in the area, they actually ensure that those students are hired if they wish to work at Horizon Bank. They come back in the summer and work at Horizon Bank. And I can tell you that Craig DeWhite, who is the CEO of Horizon, told me personally how impressive he has seen the work that he has seen from our students. And he actually was present the first year we offered the program to our students when they had the opportunity to present their ideas, and that the program has continued to grow and excel. So to Horizon, to the Horizon family, thank you for supporting our district, and our students are also amazing. We're just so thankful that we have such a strong partner.
So, before we go on, I'd like to take a quick break if anybody wanted to leave. I know we have some more business to take care of, but I don't want to keep everybody if you don't want to. So if we can take a quick break and Set. Okay, we're back. Now we'll move to the business section of the agenda. Approval of dairy, bread, grocery, and supplies bids award. Cindy, yeah, sorry. I was looking around.
Good evening, Dr. Ethan Wagner, Dr. McCollum, and school board trustees. Time to approve the bids for the 2021-22 school year. The contract awards are from the 21 to 22 school year. The bid opening for the dairy products were opened on June 8th, 2021. Dairy bids were received from one vendor, Shoal Dairy. All required documentation were included in the bid submission. Bread bids were received from Melly's and Alpha Baking Company. Gordon Food Service was awarded a one-year renewal for the 21-22 school year. And one complete produce proposal was received from Piazza Produce and Garden Creations. So tonight I ask for approval of the following 4 items. Administration recommends that the contract for bread be awarded to Alpha Baking Company in the amount of $13,102.16. The administration recommends that the bid for dairy be awarded to Shoal Dairy in the amount of $230,790, which is high, but I added the half gallons like we had to do last year, just in case. Gordon Food Service, HPS was renewed for the cafeteria food supplies and commodities in the estimated number of $30 million. That was with the service center. In the administration, I recommend Garden Creations be awarded the produce bid with a fixed fee of $255 because produce is a marketable commodity. So I ask for approval of those 4 items.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion?
I have a question.
Go
So
ahead.
can you explain a little bit about the Garden Creations? That's new?
Yes, Garden Creations is out of Kentucky, kind of Indianapolis. They also provide me with commodities through the state. You can get commodities through produce through the state if you offer so much of your commodity allowed money to them. Well, now Garden Creations has also bid on the schools to bring in commodities. I mean, fruits and vegetables.
And I didn't understand the $250. What is
That's
that?
that's the fixed price, whatever market value that commodity is at. Say peaches are 79 cents a pound. $2.55 is added on for delivery and like that.
$2.50.
$2.55. That's a fixed fee.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Added on to whatever you're buying. I think Piazza was like $2.75 or something.
Okay. And so, so last year you were getting produce just from like Gordon's or something?
I was getting some from Piazza. I bid with them
Oh.
last year, but Garden Creations didn't bid that last year.
Oh, I see.
This
Okay.
is their first year to bid, but I have used them for commodities.
Okay. All right, great. That was my only question.
Any further discussion? See no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ms. Painter, passes. Thank you. Next is the handbook and code of conduct revisions. Dr. McCollum.
Thank you again, Mr. Corley. Tonight, we are asking for your approval for the student handbooks for the 21-22 school year. The revisions for this year include minor formatting and editorial changes, and the following district-wide changes to the elementary, middle, and high school, the dress code policy update, which is a continuance of the policy that was approved by the board last year during the pandemic, modifying the time that teachers are available during e-learning, and updating the parent access to reflect the district's change from RDS to Power School. A red line version of each handbook is included in your packet. And once again, I'm asking for your approval of the revisions for the 2021-22 handbook.
Any questions?
I have a question. So
Yes.
the hours that teachers, I'm sorry, Dr. Mahoma, can you see?
Yes.
The hours that teachers are available during e-learning as was significantly reduced, and I'm wondering, what the plan is. It looked like it went from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to 11:30 to 12:30. Is that right?
For the e-learning days, those are days that are set aside for professional learning experiences for teachers, and lessons that students are provided are delivered asynchronously and tend to review content instead of introduce new topics, and teachers have set office hours that are prearranged so that parents and students know when their teacher is available to check in with them.
So, but previously they could reach that teacher anytime between 9 and 3, and now just the 1 hour period?
It's not set up as a, it's not the same as like a virtual learning day. I'm not sure if I'm understanding your question correctly.
Well, I guess, it's just a pretty big change from teachers being available from 9 to 3 and now just for an hour. I mean, maybe I'm not reading it right, is that?
Correct. And I will say in terms of the change with that as well, as Ms. Bildhauser is pointing out, during the e-learning days, our teachers are involved in trainings, our professional development. In the past, when we were doing e-learning, it was because of the inclement weather, for the most part, that we had teachers available so that they were able to support and provide any of those responses or answers to their students. But this is in response to the e-learning days that were approved in our school calendar, in which we asked for the board to approve those specifically for our teachers to be involved in training on those days. So they would not be available from 8 to 3 because they would be conducting any number of training opportunities that the district is providing for them.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't seem like that would, that would be allowable. I mean, if we're calling it a learning day, that teachers are not available, then the day seems like
Well, this
problematic.
It's approved by the state to use e-learning days for professional development. This is not the virtual learning that took place when our students were online due to the pandemic, when teachers were working with them during the course of a regular school day. These are specially set aside dates that are in the contract that allow teachers, if they're pre-planned, parents are notified in advance. In many cases, they're topics that teachers are required to receive training on. And so we have to provide, an opportunity for them to have that training. And so, they're in training, for the morning, they have a break, during their break, they're available to parents and or students. If they have questions, they can respond to emails, things of that nature from them. And then they go back into training, but generally it's about 5 days a year that are devoted to that. And in many cases, it involves training not only for our teachers, if there are some things that our entire staff members have to receive training on.
Okay. So, and then my other question was first about the uniforms. We didn't, when we decided to go to uniforms, we did tons of surveys and, and got all kinds of data and information, and now we're just kind of dropping it. I mean, without even doing the surveys or anything to make this decision.
We, as Board Member Rose mentioned, when we brought the suspension of the dress code or dress for success back in March, part of that discussion was that for the 22-23 school year, we would, as administration, come back to the board with information and a presentation on all the data that we have collected over the 7 years that Dress for Success has been in place, but that this year was a suspension of the program. It was not an elimination of the program. and that was part of our discussion.
But now we're changing the policy? I mean, the
No, this
policy
is,
states
this is a
it's still
continuation of the policy that we had in place this past.
So it's not permanent,
No,
I see. Okay, and so next year then we're gonna look at the data.
correct.
Over the course of the next school year.
Okay, great, thank you.
And really in response to, we had concerns, we didn't want to have an unfair economic impact on our families, you know, especially since we're still dealing with some of the aspects related to the pandemic. And, you know, we wanted to have this year so that we could, you know, do the surveys, get information, and then come back to you with the recommendation in the spring of next year.
Okay, great, sorry.
Any other questions? See no further questions? All in favor? Oh, sorry, we didn't get a motion yet, do we? Is there a motion to approve?
So approved. I'll second.
Have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mrs. Painter, that carries. Next is the ESSER 3. Ms. Bildhauser.
Thank you, Mr. Corley. Michigan City Area Schools received an additional allocation of $21,267,438.76 through the ESSER 3 fund. The allocation is based off the district's proportional share of the Title I allocation. The purpose of these funds are intended to support the safe return of in-person learning with the focus on acceleration of student achievement to address the impact of the pandemic. Michigan City Area Schools has already met the first requirement to be eligible to receive the funds or to be eligible for reimbursement for the funds, which is the return to an in-person learning plan and one that allows for public comment. In addition, there's a mandatory 20% set aside of these funds to support outside of the school day instructional programming, which will be done after school and through summer learning experiences. Michigan City Area Schools has received an invitation from the Indiana Department of Education to participate in strategic planning related to the use of COVID funds with an expert partner and a consortium of Indiana districts similar to Michigan City. Our strategic partner that the Department of Education has aligned us to is Education Resource Strategies. They are a national nonprofit organization dedicated to partnering with district, school, and state leaders to transform how to use resources, people, time, and money to create strategic school systems that enable every school to prepare every child for tomorrow, no matter their race or income. Districts also in our consortium include Gary Community Schools, Portage, School Town of Highland, Marion, and Hammond. IDOE is providing additional funds to support the strategic planning process. So these funds are in addition to all of our other ESSER funds that we've received so far. Michigan City will receive support in planning, operationalizing, and integrating our vision and priorities for ESSER funding into our broader improvement plans. An initial planning call will be held soon to initiate this planning process, which will begin with a strategic needs assessment, followed by vision setting, and ending with implementation and evaluation through accountability structures to ensure monitoring of our plan and being able to identify areas that additional revisions may be needed. Currently, grant funds are not allocated to any specific purpose at this time, like we've allocated for previous ESSER or CARES funds. This will allow us to then file an amendment with the Department of Education aligned to the strategic plan that is developed through this process and to use those funds accordingly to support those identified needs. The only amount that is specifically set aside is that 20% reservation, and the process is anticipated to take from the beginning of this month through December. And the period for allowability for these funds dates back to March 13th, 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic, and including an encumbrance deadline of September 30th, 2024. And I just want to point out that these are funds that are reimbursable, so we don't actually receive the funds in advance, but we turn in reimbursement requests, and then the state reimburses us for those purchases. And all these funds are subject to audit and non-compliance consequences that may come out of that process. And it is the recommendation that we approve the acceptance of ESSER 3 funds.
Any questions? Do you have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I appreciate, Kathy, you're reaching out to me early so I can ask questions, but I just want to say, I hope that somewhere early in this plan is the plan for transparency. So that, the public and family and everyone is really aware of everything that's happening as it's happening. I think that would be my only really comment on all that.
Throughout the process, definitely transparency is a key piece of that, and the involvement and consultation with all our stakeholders, including community members, staff, board members, so that we recognize we're all working towards that common purpose and improving outcomes for our students.
Thanks. I would move to approve.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mrs. Painter, that carries. Next is Title I. Ms. Buhauser.
All right, thank you again, Mr. Corley. It's time to approve our Title I grant. Last year, they changed the application process, so there's a pre-application process, and it involves planning for all of our title grants, which includes Title I, Title II, which is aligned with professional development needs, Title III, which is aligned with supporting our English language learners, and Title IV, which encompasses technology, social emotional learning, and improving outcomes for students. So through this process, goals are set and a plan developed to focus on those key areas. Title I itself supports provides school funds for specific school improvement. It also supports pay differential for instructional coaches and instructional assistants, our data and grants specialist, our secondary curriculum coordinator, and it also provides instructional resources aligned to district goals, and then overall professional development aligned to those goals. It also is the grant that supports instructional resources and support for homeless students, summer school, and parent involvement. At this time, the Department of Education has not released what our preliminary allocation is, and the grant application, the pre-application, is still due by July 1 so that we can use those funds for our staffing resources that it supports. So at this time, the administration requests the approval of the grant for the 21-22 school year.
Move to approve.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mrs. Painter, that carries. Next, the approval of operating agreements with governing boards participating in the LaPorte County Career and Technical Education Center. Mrs. Smith.
Good evening, school board members and Dr. Easton Hawkins, Dr. McCullum, Ms. Goldhauser, Mr. Warner. I'm here to present the 2021-2022 operating agreements to the Michigan City Area School Board of School Trustees. The following schools have agreed to participate in our career and technical education program until June 30th, 2022. All participating school corporations are eager for their students to have the opportunity to participate in the LaPorte County Career and Technical Education programs being offered at A.K. Smith Career Center. The purpose of the operating agreements is to ensure that all participating schools understand their part in successful participation as we serve them as their CTE district. The operating agreement outlines the responsibilities of each participating school district, the cost of tuition for each enrolled student, and the importance of participation in their advisory role. The cost to a participating school corporation shall be determined in the following manner. 3 credit programs will be billed per student for the 2021-2022 school year. Total fees will be $3,327.44. This is the same per pupil tuition cost that districts paid for the 2020-2021 school year. We have the following operating agreements to present this evening for participation in the LaPorte County Career and Technical Education Area Program for District Number 6. I ask for approval of the 2021-22 operating agreements for the following school districts: Michigan City Area Schools, Metropolitan School District, New Prairie United School Corporation, New Buffalo School Corporation, Tri-Township Consolidated School Corporation, South Central Community School, and LaPorte Community School. Thank you for your consideration and your continued support and attention to this matter and your support of our CTE program.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing no questions, do I have a motion?
So approved.
Have a motion and a second. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mrs. Painter, that carries. Thank you.
And Mr. Corley, if I can just say, Valencia Smith is new to our district. She's just completing her first year. And she's done a remarkable job, despite the pandemic, connecting with our business partners, engaging our students in opportunities. And I just want to personally thank her for her dedication to the Michigan City area schools and the broader LaPorte County.
Thank you. Next, a resolution establishing the policy by which members of the Michigan City Area Schools Corporation may participate by electronic means of communication. Mr. Kaminsky.
Thank you, Mr. President. One thing that the coronavirus has done is it has taught the state and boards that they can govern remotely. So the legislation this past legislative session, they did pass a resolution allowing board members to participate virtually. The caveats are that we have to have at least a majority of the board members present. A board member may participate remotely 2 board meetings in a row, but then must participate in a live board meeting. And then we have to make sure, which Sarah has done a tremendous job of making sure that we do roll call votes and that the minutes indicate who's here virtually versus who's here present. So you can make it more restrictive. Follows the statute all the way down. If you want to make it more restrictive, you can, but it's my recommendation that you pass this resolution so that board members can participate virtually.
Thank you. Any questions? See no questions, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, Mrs. Painter, that carries. Thank you. Next is the mask update for summer operations. Dr. McCollum.
Thank you again, Mr. Corley. For summer operations, which are currently taking place in our school district and will last until the start of the school year for the 21-22 school year, which is August 16th, I am asking that beginning next week, July 1st, at all Michigan City area school buildings where students are not present, that face masks be optional and not required for individuals who are fully vaccinated. Staff working this summer also will not need to complete the daily screening questions about COVID, which we have had in place since staff returned last fall. However, we will still ask that they continue to monitor at home for any symptoms prior to coming into their work. So once again, we are asking that starting next week, that schools that do not have students or buildings that do not have students, including administration building, our food savers, our transportation, or all buildings except for Lake Hills and the high school, have a face mask optional policy. And we plan to bring recommendations concerning the reopening of the schools for the next board meeting. So at this time, we are reviewing policies, including masking and screening for next year, but we'll bring that at our meeting for next month. But at this point right now, I'm asking for your approval to update or revise the masking policy for summer operations.
Any questions?
Dr. McCollum, as to whether people are vaccinated or not, do they just, sign something saying that they are, like attesting to the fact, or?
At this point, we would not. Just in speaking with our partner districts around the state and around the region who have went to a policy similar to this, they have not asked staff to verify their vaccination status.
So, okay, so people just ask them, you just ask?
We have not asked any of our employees of their vaccination status unless they were identified as a close contact. So we are saying that if they are not vaccinated, we would recommend that they continue to wear their mask. But if they are vaccinated, fully vaccinated, that it would be optional whether or not they want to continue to wear the mask or if they did not want to.
Okay.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, this panel carries. Thank you. Next is a Franciscan agreement. Mr. Kaminsky.
Thank you, Mr. President. Several years ago, when we entered into the original agreement, Dr. Reese Watkins and I worked diligently to make sure that we have an agreement that I was comfortable with and that Franciscan was comfortable with. When we decided that we were going to broaden our partnership with Franciscan and wanted to make the agreement broader so that we could add new programming to that agreement. When that happened, some additional language was added to the agreement that I was uncomfortable with, and I believe Dr. Easton Watkins was uncomfortable with. We worked diligently, and we were able to get the language changed that was disconcerting to me and Dr. Easton Watkins, and I'm very pleased with the agreement that you have in front of you, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you. Any questions? See no questions. Do I have a motion?
So approved.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Can I ask what kind of training we're going to work or training that our students are doing there at Franciscan?
Well, I could say that, for example, this year our EMT students would not have been able to complete the licensure requirements had they not been able to participate in rotations and, primarily observing and talking with individuals at the hospital who performed certain roles so that they understood. It was a practical experience for them. And, it's something that, again, had we not had the partnership in place, they would not have been able to complete that work. Moving forward, they are very committed to being a strong healthcare community partner in that, they want to ensure that our students from a career perspective understand the various roles that exist in the hospital setting, and they're expanding, for example, a program where they provided supports and information to students in the fourth grade setting about nursing, specifically. They're doing a video to show the diversity of their healthcare professionals students, they've committed to, for our nursing students, you know, serve as mentors for them so that they can, you know, in some cases, some of the curriculum gets more rigorous for them, they can be supportive to them. So it's nothing of a religious basis, it's really ensuring that as our, you know, community healthcare organization, whatever needs we may have, we're able to meet the needs. And again, for this year, we had, 18 students that would not have completed the requirements had, you know, Dean Mazzoni personally stepped in and said they can walk through, they can participate, they can ask questions in accordance with the state licensure requirements.
So it's not employment?
No, it's not employment, it's awareness, it's preparation for employment, because those students now, for example, who participated in those clinical rotations are eligible to be employed.
The beauty of the agreement is that your administrative team had foresight to see, we need to make this broad enough where we're not coming back to you each year because we have this program we want to do. We now have a true partnership with Franciscan, and it's a very healthy partnership.
Thank you. I got lost. We have a motion, correct? Or no?
I think so.
We did.
Motion second. Those are for, okay. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mrs. Painter, that passed. Thank you. Memorandum of understanding with MCESP, Dr. McCullum.
Thank you again, Mr. Corley. Tonight, we are asking for the board's approval for a memorandum of understanding with the Michigan City Educational Support Professionals Unit that will provide a $2.50 per hour supplement to the standard wage that is already outlined in the collective bargaining agreement we have between the MCESP and MCAS, starting with the 21-22 school year. This supplement is for paraprofessional staff that are placed in moderate or severe programming, pre-K programming, in any one-to-one position in these programs, or the behavior support program, to recognize the very special and unique circumstances of these assignments. The board previously approved this same supplemental pay for our paras in the behavior support program in 2016. So once again, I am asking for approval of the $2.50 supplemental pay in addition to the standard wage for our paras in the MCESP program that work in the special circumstances and special program.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, so what rate does that bring them to?
Depending on what their hourly wage is and their level of experience or years of service, the beginning wage is $10.69 an hour. So we know that it's a very difficult position for us to staff, and knowing that we in the 2016 approved also for a difficult position with our parents in the behavior support program, know that the work that is being done in these programs is very specific and it's a very trying position for those folks to be working.
So 1069 is the low end of the range? And then you add 250?
Yes, and that would be the 1069 is the minimum.
That's the minimum. Okay. All right, thanks.
So would this be for the 21-22 school year?
Yes, we'll start next year.
Okay,
This coming school.
thank you.
Seeing no further questions? You have a question? I need your lights on. Okay. Do you have a motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Mrs. Painter, that passes. Thank you. Any board statements prior to issues requiring action prior to the next board meeting? Any board members have any statements they'd like to make? Anything like to say?
Yeah, I just, I know that Ms. Lamar has already left, but I just want to say what a powerful testimony she provided for that program. It's just wonderful to see that it's doing so well, and she's just taking it so to heart, and that she's got great people with her. So that's, congratulations to you for being leaders of such great staff. So that's just wonderful.
Thank you. Any other board members? No, I'd just like to congratulate the administration, the staff of the school system for getting through the 2020-2021 school year, and I look forward to continuing on with great success in 2021-2022. So thank you. Dr. Watkins, you have anything else?
You know, I would just reiterate what you just said. In fact, you know, that's what I plan to say. You know, our, you know, district administration team, the teachers, the principals, you know, all of the employees have worked so hard. I know Cindy is here and her team has really, we have called them heroes for the work that they did, ensuring that our families were fed, you know, during the pandemic. And so everyone has been compassionate and truly stepped up for the good, not only of our students, but of the broader community. And as we close the school year, just a special thanks is due to each and every one of them, you know, for their great work in ensuring our students were adequately supported.
Thank you. Anything, Dr. McCollum? Anything from the cabinet members? No?
Can I just add one other
Yes,
thing?
Dr. Watkins.
Bill Kaminsky, during this entire pandemic, has been really pulling together the superintendents across, you know, Port County and some of the other areas, so that we could have conversations with regard to, you know, what our process should look like, procedures, you know, pulling us together with the health department. And I know that there are not other law firms out there that are taking that collective interest in ensuring that we're able to collaborate together and work together for the good of the broader, you know, community. And I just want to thank Bill for his efforts. You know, this is something outside of the purview that nobody could have actually anticipated. But whenever there was a problem that impacted more than one of us, he brought us together so we could talk it through.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kaminsky. Seeing no further business, meeting's adjourned. See you all next month. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.